In this video, I'm going to be going over how to complete clutch time online in Season 7 of NBA 2K23 Myteam, and just showing you guys how to win more games in clutch time for any single season, but specifically talking about the meta of the game right now and just how to win games in Season 7. So the first thing we want to talk about is going to have to do with the lineup screen. I think it is super important to have the right lineup for clutch time because it's a lot different of a game mode compared to unlimited. The shot clock being 14 seconds is a huge difference, the court being a little bit smaller, and the 4-point line as well, and then just it only being 5 minutes makes the game mode a lot different, I would say, than Myteam Unlimited. So talking about your lineup screen, it doesn't necessarily matter what cards you have, it just matters what the cards can do for you on the court. So for example, what I mean by that is you want to have, first off, at least for my play style and how I like to play clutch time, is you want to have 2 ball handlers, guys that can score at will, and whenever you need a bucket, you can just give them the basketball and they are going to be your main scorers. So for me personally, the lineup that I'll be running is James Harden at point guard and Vince Carter at shooting guard. Not saying these are the best point guards and shooting guards in the game. You can run a Jokic, you can run a Ben Simmons, you can run a T-Mac. There's obviously better cards that are more expensive, and there's also budget cards. You know, Ricky Davis, you know, really good budget option for shooting guard. Point guard, there's Jalen Rose, Hito Turkoglu, KPJ, guys that are on the James Harden, probably even better than James Harden, a guy like Hito Turkoglu that you can also run at point guard. But you just want to have 2 main ball handlers, and it doesn't have to be at your point guard and your shooting guard spot. If you want to run a defensive point guard, let's say for example this was Ben Simmons, and then you had Vince Carter at shooting guard, but then now you want to have a offensive 3, Scalabrine can probably be your offensive 3, but then you can use a different, you know, small forward. Maybe you go for a Danny Ferry, maybe you go for, just trying to think of some offensive small forwards. Like, you don't have to only run them, you know, at your point guard and shooting guard spot. Just for me personally, this is where my 2 ball handlers are going to be, is at the point guard and shooting guard position with Vince Carter and James Harden. Now you want to have at least 1 lockdown defender. So whether you want to run Brian Scalabrine, whether you want to run a Giannis, whether you want to run an AK, a Thurl Bailey, like he could be a really good option at the 3. You just want to have that 1 card that's going to be there for defense. So if you match up against an invincible T-Mac, you know, another Vince Carter, you match against these really good offensive cards, you want to have at least 1 guy that can slow them down. So I could use this LeBron. He's got 53 Hall of Fame badges in the one that I bought, so he could play small forward. And you know what, just for the defensive purposes, I'll put LeBron at the small forward position. He's gonna be able to play great defense on ball, and he'll be my lockdown. So that's the first 2 things you guys want to focus on, is having really good ball handlers, at least 2 of them in your lineup, because if you only have 1, if that guy gets boxed and there's only 14 seconds on the shot clock and you don't have another guy that can bail you out, that's kind of why you need to have 2 of them, in my opinion, especially if they start losing stamina quickly. Then you want to have that 1 lockdown, you know, whether it's at small forward, whether it's at shooting guard, whether it's at point guard, doesn't matter. And then for your 2 power forward centers, your 2 bigs, you just want to have size and people that can shoot. At least the way that I like to play is really spacing out the floor, able to create a lot of open threes by driving to the basket and kicking out. That I'll explain more here in a second, but just make sure you guys have that, make sure you have centers and power forwards that can, number 1, shoot the ball, have size, and play solid defense. So I'll be running a Marc Gasol and Brook Lopez. You know, you could even go Thurl Bailey at this position. He can shoot threes, he can defend at a higher level, but I like running the 2 big lineups with Marc Gasol and Brook Lopez in case we verse a lineup like a Taco Fall, we verse a Manute Bol, we want to have as much size as possible. But this is the lineup that I'll be running, and those are just my lineup you know, suggestions of what I would do, because I think it does matter a lot to have a certain specific lineup going into clutch time online. But now let's hop into the game and I'll show you guys what to do actually in the clutch time online game. So into the Clutch Time online game here now, the first thing you guys want to do is focus on your defensive settings. These are going to be huge in clutch time. Now I know a lot of people already have them saved, but just in case people don't know what I think are the best defensive settings in the game, I do have multiple videos on it, but I'm just going to quickly go over and show you guys my defensive settings. So as you guys can see, I'll be playing no hedge for the center and just a normal hedge. On ball screen go over, on ball screen center go over, and then smother for on ball pressure and tight for off ball pressure. Stay attached on yes. You scroll down to the drive help rules, both going to be on no help, and then you go to transition defense and you put that to no 3. So those are the defensive settings that I run, and you can actually save them, so you don't have to do this in every single game. But the one thing you want to do the one thing you have to do every single clutch time game is go to your freelance and put it to Bucks 2018. Just doing that stuff right there, and then also turning your adaptive coaching engine off, is going to be super helpful to playing clutch time and just overall giving you great spacing in the game. So my opponent does have a very decent team, maybe not got the best squad in the world, but he's definitely got a solid team. So on the first possession, I'm just going to focus for getting my freelance up. You know, if I make that shot, I make that shot, and I do with James Harden, and we'll take a 4-0 lead. But just wanted to get my, you know, freelance setup and just explain to you guys, you know, the defensive settings. So now on defense, what I like to do is put my LeBron on who I think their best on ball, who I think their best score is, and that's probably going to be Michael Redd. So on defense, that's who I'll put LeBron on. Did my opponent already quit? I think my opponent already quit. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to hop into another clutch time game. But at least you guys got this on my defensive settings and also what to do in freelance. So gonna have to go into another clutch time game because I assume, yeah, my opponent's gonna quit. So I'll catch you guys in the next clutch time game. But you guys now know, set your freelance up every single time with Bucks 2018, and then also have your defensive settings set. So into another clutch time game, what you guys want to do is once again set up your freelance, put that to Bucks 2018, and then now you just want to get going here in the pick and roll. Whether you're getting to the basket, whether you're kicking to the corner for wide open threes, you just want to make sure that you're using a lot of screens, whether it's in the pick and roll. Yeah, just getting to the basket and kicking to the corner is my main source of offense. And at least clutch time unlimited, it's a little bit different, but in clutch time, a lot of people have their, you know, settings maybe not turned on and their corners do drop a lot. So that's my main source of offense, is just driving to the paint in kind of like a 5-out situation, and then I can't get a rebound. So that's something I need to work on because I can never get boards to save my life. But that's what I do offensively, is you set up your freelance, and now you can run like a little bit of 5-out if you wanted to. You can come around screens, you know, with a guy like James Harden, drive to the paint, kick to the corner, and another somewhat wide open 3 for Marc Gasol, and now we have an easy 6-0 lead. So that's what I mainly do on offense, is look to kind of 5-out and just space the floor, and then look to drive in and kick to a wide open shooter, as we are going to almost give him that and one. My defense is all about giving up 2s. I do not want to allow them to get 3s, because I know I can probably score most times down the floor on offense if I'm like really locked in. So I don't want to give them any 3s. I want to make sure that they're not shooting 3s and just running them off the 3-point line, because I know most times I can probably get a 2 or a 3 every single possession if I really want to. So we're going to walk around that screen, shoot that wide open 3, and now we have a 1-9 lead. So once again, if you're going to build a lead, now what you say to yourself is just no 3s. Do not let up a 3 here. I'm just going to play on this backside. If he wants to shoot that fade, he can go ahead and do so. And the main thing is you also want to run in transition. I was trying to throw it up to LeBron, and another opponent's going to quit. As you guys can see, I just keep getting quits, you know, fast quits back to back to back. I'll hop into another clutch time game so I can explain it a little bit more, but you also want to make sure you can run in transition. That's also another thing I'll talk about here in a second, and that's a great way to score in clutch time. Alright, so once again, into another clutch time game here. My opponent does have a very good squad. He's got Gilbert Arenas at that point guard position, and he's going to try to shoot that wide open, and I cannot get a rebound. That is the one thing I personally do really struggle with a lot, is I can never get boards to save my life. But he's going to get that mid-range to go. Perfectly cool. I'm once again going to set up my freelance, get the Bucks 2018, and just going to get going here in the pick and roll. I like to play in the pick and roll, whether it's driving to the basket, getting easy wide open 2s. It's a great way to score pretty much every single time, where you can either attack the paint, get a wide open dunk, you can either kick to a wide open shooter, or you can even come around a screen and shoot a 3. I also should put LeBron on ball, so I will do that on the next possession, is put LeBron on Gilbert Arenas, who is my opponent's, you know, main scorer and his best offensive player. So the other thing you guys can do on offense that I like to do is sometimes I do post up if I see a little bit of a mismatch. Now this isn't a mismatch, I'm just saying if you do see a mismatch in game, that is also something to do just to take advantage. Can't do that in this game because my opponent does have some pretty tall players, you know, with Jokic, with Patrick Ewing, but he's really cooking us with Gilbert Arenas. So we finally get a somewhat competitive matchup, or at least should be somewhat of a competitive matchup. But yeah, looking to go around that screen. He's going to leave LeBron here with some space, hit him with that little pump fake. Just going to make sure to take my 2s. You want to try to score as much as possible. Don't be forcing up 3s. That's what I see a lot in clutch time, is everyone just be chucking up shots and just forcing stuff from the 4-point line and taking bad looks. So that's the main thing about clutch time, is just taking those good looks. As my opponent, he keeps hitting me with the tray fade. That's why the tray fade is so overpowered, because you can just do this type of stuff with Gilbert Arenas. So we just got to lock in on offense. Not really too worried here. Going to dot the corner to Vince Carter, and he's going to get that wide open 3. So on defense, I should make sure that I'm really guarding this tray fade with LeBron. Might have to send 2 and kind of double team him a little bit. Once again, just don't want him getting these 3-pointers. So I'm fine with double teaming and giving him a wide open 2. We just don't want any 3s, you know, on our court. So good defense here from LeBron. I mean, that is excellent defense. There's no way he greens that. And now we want to run. That's a big big thing that I didn't talk about yet is you want to run in transition. You grab that rebound. If you can outlet, if you can kind of, manually get yourself going in transition, that is what you want to do. You want to try to score as many points as possible in transition. It's going to make a huge difference that maybe a lot of people don't know about, is just running in transition, getting out on the break. Here LeBron's got another wide open opportunity, gonna spin an easy dunk. Now we're back up by 1 point just because we've been able to get some stops and run in transition. 2 easy dunks for LeBron just because I manually, sent him on the break. If you guys don't know how to do that, basically, it's something a little bit more complex. That's maybe not the easiest to explain, but basically, if you see someone shoot, right, a 3 with Gilbert Arenas, like he shot a 3 with Gilbert Arenas, and as soon as I see him shoot that 3, even if I don't think he's going to make it or miss it, I take a player that's on a wing, right? So I'll just show you guys. I'll give him a wide open 3. He's going to take it. So as soon as he shoots it, see how I'm running with Vince? You see how I ran it with Vince Carter though? And if he misses it, now Vince Carter is going to be already on the break because I manually, selected him and then started running in transition when the shot was up. Like I gave him a wide open 3 because I just wanted him to shoot it so I could show you guys. That's also another tip of how to get out on the break, because I know a lot of people probably don't know about that. See how I saw him shot it and I started running with Vince Carter? That's a great way to score in transition. I probably shouldn't be giving up too many 3s. I'm kind of going against my philosophy where, I want to let up no 3s. That's just because I'm trying to explain other stuff as well. But yeah, mainly I shouldn't be letting this many 3s. You just got to really lock in and just run them off the 3-point line, because that's why I'm still in this ball game, because I keep giving up 3s, and that's honestly what's hurting me the most. So trying to help here, trying to get to that corner. Once again, if he wants to take that 2 little mid-range, I'm okay with that because it's only 2 points and I know I can score pretty much every single time down the floor, whether it's a 3, whether it's a 2. I'm pretty confident in my scoring ability, and I think you guys should get to that point where you're pretty confident you can score the ball most times down the court, that you really don't have to worry about giving a wide open 2. Now, I'm not saying to give wide open layups or just let your opponent score 2 points, but I'm saying if you have to choose between a wide open 3 or wide open 2, you'd rather give up that 2 points. But yeah, guys, I think you can understand the gameplay. This video might be a little bit longer because I've had to go into like 3 or 4 different clutch time games, so I'm not exactly sure how long this video is going to be, but I think you guys understand the premise of what to be doing in clutch time. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. It is sometimes hard to explain well on the go in a clutch time game, so if anything that I maybe didn't fully explain that you're still confused about, just let me know in the comment section down below. But those are all of my tips to help you guys out in clutch time. Hopefully this video did help you guys out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.